I just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine.
Midnight, damn, I wound up too tight. I got a fistful of whiskey, the bottle just bit me. Oh, that shit makes me batshit crazy.
Barney the flagman with the green in hand, getting ready to throw it.
No fear, no doubt, all in my
There it is. Green is called for, and we're underway for the first race of the season of the ProSim Racing Alliance.
Take anything we want, drink everything inside. We burn it to the ground tonight. Take it like a time bomb,
Contact!
drinking
Big time
till the
trouble!
night's gone. We'll get you
The caution is out. We've got trouble again.
last call, my ass.
And there's trouble behind on the last lap. 3 wide for the race lead.
Won't stop.
These drivers are giving everything they have to win this final race. And there he goes to the inside in turn 1.
Take anything we want, drink everything inside. We're going till the world stops turning while we burn it to the ground tonight.
In the heart of the Hawkeye State, short track racing has found a big-time stage. Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa opened in 2006 with a vision from NASCAR champion Rusty Wallace. A 7/8 mile D-shaped oval inspired by Richmond Raceway, built to deliver side-by-side racing in multiple grooves from top to bottom. Since being acquired by NASCAR, this facility has grown into one of the sport's premier short tracks, hosting everything from O'Reilly and Truck Series battles to IndyCar thrills. And in 2024, Iowa's long-awaited moment arrived as the NASCAR Cup Series finally took on this bull ring, packing the stands and proving this place belongs on the biggest stage. 30,000 strong in the grandstands, campers stacked along the backstretch, and a racing surface that chews up tires and rewards the bold. This is short track racing, Iowa style. Tonight it's all about speed, strategy, and survival. The PSRA Truck Series Heartland 150 is next on Track Limits Network. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Iowa Speedway. I'm Steve Singer, joined in the broadcast booth by Chris Goins. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Steve. Doing pretty well. Ready to get some short track racing going in. How you doing?
Not too shabby. Ready to get back in the groove of things here. Iowa tonight, New Hampshire next week. But let's just focus on the cornfield here this evening. Let's get into the race details. Distance tonight, 150 laps. Stage break about lap 35. I want to make a special note if the caution comes out in and around that 30 to 35 lap mark. That caution will serve as the stage break, so there's a chance we might get it sooner, but if we stay green to 35, we'll see the yellow flag then. 75% fuel on board, 3 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Weather-wise, 82 degrees, 50% humidity, cloudy skies, 5-mile-per-hour breeze, track temp 88 degrees. That's going to come down here as the sun continues to set out here in Newton, Iowa. Fast times in practice so far, the 58 of Corey Bigley on top of the charts, a 23-124. Then it's Bobby Hamilton Jr., Matt Nicholson, Drew Blaze, and Chris Klein, your current top 5. Well, just about a minute left in this session here, Chris. Short track racing, but it's, I don't know, I guess you could almost call it a super speedway of short tracks. We're Trans Am racing at the super speedway of road courses down at the Glen here this afternoon. But what's a good way to be successful here on this D-shaped oval?
The main thing is being able to pick your corners that you want to try and make the pass. It's going to be pretty difficult to pass here. It traditionally is. It's pretty slick off the corners. You got to keep the truck underneath you, keep those tires cooled down as much as you can, and try not to wear them out too fast. But like you said, real wide, you'll see a lot of different lines going on. A lot of people will be defending the pass, and so we'll see how difficult it is to make the pass here tonight.
Does the approach change considerably from qualifying to the race session?
In terms of like driving the truck, yeah, you mean?
Well, your approach to the lap
it's-
itself. I mean, obviously you got 2 laps in qualifying, you got longer runs, of course, in the race, but does the line change? Is there a better way to be quick in qualifying versus the race?
Yeah, I mean, in qualifying, you're really sending it into the corner to try and, you really want it on that razor's edge. Just, one wrong move and it's going around on you, because that's where the speed is. They say loose is fast, but you really just want to send it in there, get it to stick, and things like that. You're not worried about what your tires are doing. You're not worried about anything like that. Approaching to the race, you're navigating some traffic. You're trying not to get in too deep because you get into that guy in front of you. Back that up, keep those tires underneath you. You can really be there at the end of the run. You'll see the times will probably drop off quite a bit during the run, and those guys that save those tires long term will be there at the end.
Well, practice in the books. We're going to find out who is fastest here in qualifying here in just a moment. In fact, session begins now. 2 laps, 5 minutes. Little dyslexia here tonight. That's okay. To set the timing and scoring, the front row and the rest of the field here tonight. Looks like Alan DeFries will be the first driver to roll off onto the speedway. Alan DeFries on the clock. A little burp on the throttle just before start finish. That'll be interesting. Ever so slightly off the gas. It's certainly going to affect the lap time. We'll see how much. DeFries a little wiggly off turn number 2. Meanwhile, Mike Fahey goes top of the board, 23.17. DeFries goes at 23.76. He's second quick. We'll stick with the 71 here, see if he can pick it up here on lap number 2. DeFries back to starter stand here. What kind of time does he lock in? He is quicker. 23.509 is falling out of the 3rd spot as Cole Ansley jumps up second quick. Ansley missed the race last week to a last-minute family emergency. Good to know things are looking on the up and up. Ansley goes 3rd quick, a little slower on lap 2. Drew Blaze 6th quick, 23.642 seconds. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now at the top time, 23.071. That's a quick lap, Chris.
Yeah, that's really moving around here to almost break that 23-second mark. It's kind of unheard of with these trucks.
Second quick for Drew Blaze, though, 23.143. David Bradford a little late to leave the pits, letting that track temp drop just ever so slightly. Thinks it's good to go now, trying to get some heat into the tires down the backstretch. Bradford turns it down across start finish. 4th quick, 23.208. Lap 1 invalidated, but not a bad time on lap 2. Meanwhile, Corey Bigley at 23.27, 5th quick. Bigley improves. Outside pole, 23.099 out of the number 58. Just over a minute left in this session. 3 drivers yet to make it, 4 drivers yet to make it to the track. Mark Truxell, Chris Lannis, Austin Grewell, Jason Steptoe. They may just opt to start from the back. Ingram 10th quick on his first lap. Time to beat, 23.071. Bigley got close. Ingram goes P8, 23.325. Now to Steve Luttrell, 12th quick, 23.576, 135 miles an hour average, the first lap for the 36 machine. Lap 2 in the books for Luttrell, and he does not improve. A little bit slower, 23.590, pretty close to his first lap. And that'll likely wrap things up here as 15 seconds, 10 seconds left in this session. 4 drivers opting not to take a time. They'll start at the back. We'll get to them here in our starting grid momentarily. So Bobby Hamilton Jr., fastest in our qualifying session, so he'll start P1 here tonight. Let's get to our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 23.071 seconds for Bobby Hamilton Racing, it's the number 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Outside front row, missed it by 28 thousandths of a second, the number 58 of Corey Bigley. In row 2, it's the Lone Star Racing machine of Drew Blaze and teammate Mike Fahey. Row 3, Bradford Aeroworks driver David Bradford and his teammate Will Jones. Row 4, it's Matt Nicholson from JBN Autosport and Josh Ingram. Row 5, Rodney Roberts and Colt Ansley. Starting 11th, it'll be Alan DeFries. 12th goes to Stephen Luttrell. 13th starter, it's Chris Klein. 14th is Jason Steptoe. Austin Grewell, 15th. 16th, Chris Lannis. And shotgun on the field, the HLC Motorsports number 5. It'll be Mark Truxell rounding out the field. It's your starting grid here for the Heartland 150. Season 4, race number 5. Well, Chris, we got a couple of pace laps, but before they roll off, do you got a pick for tonight?
You know, I was sitting here thinking about that when you're going through the lineup, Steve. I think if he can put an entire race together, have some good luck, and save what he's got, I think I'm going to take that 58 of Corey Bigley.
Corey Bigley, a solid pick. I'm going to go with the tire saver himself from Lone Star Racing, the 9 of Drew Blaze, for the win here tonight.
I was going back and forth between those two, and I think both of them are good picks to win.
I mean, really, there's a good majority of these drivers out here that could impress us with a win, and another good majority that could surprise us with one. That's what's good about this series. A lot of these guys have been racing together a long time. Anybody can strike gold once in a while, but you just got to watch these races, figure out who is going to have the position at the end of the race, who will have the strategy and the pace all in one. It's going to be a fun one here tonight. Field rolling out of pit lane. We got Tommy Janikowski in the chat waving the checkered flag already. Pure Pixel Visuals, that would be Cameron Hageman watching from the road back to California from Deming Speedway in Washington. Cameron, a motorsports photographer, among other things, coming back from some work. Chris Fahey in the chat cheering on LSR. Chris Fahey, the mom of Michael Fahey, she shows up to watch him wreck too. Field completing lap 1 under caution here. 1 of 2 pace laps before we get things underway. We'll take a second look at the race details. 150 laps the distance. Stage break at lap 35. Caution comes out prior to 35 within a 5-lap window. They're going to call that the stage. 75% fuel on board. 3 sets of tires over the wall. No fast repairs and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish. Track temperatures come down 5 degrees already. 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Weather-wise, 82, 51% humidity, partly cloudy, and almost no breeze now at 3 miles per hour. Beautiful night for a race here in Newton, Iowa. Pace car is in, field in 4. Bobby Jr. leads them to the green flag, and we're underway from Iowa. Lap 1 in the books. Bobby Jr. first across the stripe. Drew Blaze up 1 spot already in P2. Corey Bigley falls back to 3rd. Fahey still runs 4th. David Bradford still 5th, but he's in a battle with the 19 of Mike Fahey for that 4th spot. Not quite clear, but David gets back on the throttle, builds a little bit of a gap, has room to slide up, and he does so. Fahey stays tucked to the tailgate of the 13 across the start-finish line. Bobby Jr. still leads a half-second advantage now over Drew Blaze. Really checking out early here, Chris. Is that something to pay attention to?
Yeah, we see Bobby do this at a lot of tracks where he'll get out there in front early, kind of get the handle of his truck out there right from the jump and get out there to a big lead. And then those guys in the second, third, whoever it is, that kind of slowly start to reel them back in. I don't know if it's tire wear. I don't know if they're just kind of getting more comfortable with their trucks. Interested to see if that is what happens here tonight, or if Bobby just has such a good handle on this track that he's able to just maintain it and maybe even extend it.
Again, the driver is able to make adjustments to these trucks when they have the opportunity. Again, as we said, stage break coming at lap 35, so they'll have that opportunity. Might weigh into the decision for Bobby Jr. to just go out there and hammer down for the first 35, see what the truck's going to give him, as you said, Chris. Knowing full well that if he burns the tires off or needs to make an adjustment, he's got that opportunity coming.
Yeah, 35 laps will go by quick here too, so assuming that they'll take tires at the stage break, I mean, you may as well just use what you got and then get new ones there at that break.
Bradford and Fahey still side by side for the 5th position, 4th position that is. Bradford with a nose out in front into turn number 3, but they still run side by side off turn number 4. In behind him, it's teammate Will Jones in the number 46.
And you saw it coming out of 4 there, Steve, with Fahey, getting stuck on that bottom, not being able to wash out towards the wall. Your truck can really get light on you in the rear end, and you saw Fahey get pretty loose and then have to save it off of 4, and it cost him some track position there. Now he's losing that spot to Will.
It's hard on the tires, too, because Fahey's got to keep more wheel into it for a longer period of time before he can open things back up down the straightaway. So effectively, when you get pinched like that, you're turning into that radius a lot longer than the guy who's on the outside. So you do that too long, you're going to burn up those tires. Two seconds the advantage for the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Back to Drew Blaze and Corey Bigley. Fastest lap of the race so far does belong to the number 25 truck of Bobby Hamilton Jr. at 23.46 seconds, equaled only by Chris Klein, running the exact same lap time. Meanwhile, battle for the second spot. Bigley and Drew Blaze side by side for second.
I would not be surprised to see this battle last a while. Like we mentioned, it's pretty difficult to pass here, especially on that bottom line. So you'll see Drew be able to, unless he gives it up pretty easily, he should be able to stay up here and fight off that charge. Looks like he may have just kind of given him his space.
Just made you a liar.
Yeah.
So Drew Blaze now back to third where he started. The Bigley truck starting to come alive. Still quite the distance back up to Bobby Hamilton Jr. It's almost 2.4 seconds. Mike Fahey making a big move here, took a peek to the inside on Will Jones, but quickly he's being hounded by the 28 of Rodney Roberts. Chris, I don't know if Fahey was stepping out there or if the truck stepped out for him. Either way, now he's under attack.
Yeah, it looked like he was maybe pushing behind the 46 there a little bit and got up close to that wall coming out of 2 and had a little bit of extra wheel cranked in it just to keep it off the wall. Either way, he opened the door for that 28 there, and let's see if he can fight him off here and kind of keep that position.
Fahey just inches off the wall, exiting turn number 4. Rodney Roberts still to the inside. Fahey's shown a pretty good propensity here to fight and hang on to those positions. He has lost a couple of them, but he hasn't made it easy for anybody. It seems to be a recurring situation here with Rodney Roberts to the inside. Rodney dives it down deep into the corner, but doesn't have that room to open up the wheel. Fahey kind of pinching him down, keeping him behind him now as he crosses the stripe, gets clear of the 28 yet again. And as Bobby Hamilton Jr. puts lap 18 up on the board, the deficit back to second place Corey Bigley is starting to shrink. Remember, it was about 2.4 seconds right after Bigley got clear of Drew Blaze. Now it's 2.2 and a half. It's marginal. It's not a lot, but the last couple of laps, Bigley's been about a half-tenth quicker than Bobby Jr. Check out Mark Truxell here running in the 15th spot. He's made up 2 positions, started shotgun on the field here tonight. It's just typical Mark Truxell. Start at the back, run the laps, take care of the truck, be there at the finish, play the cards that are dealt in the latter stages. Occasionally he'll squeak out a win doing just that.
And as much as we say that here in the broadcast booth, Steve, I've raced with Mark in multiple different times and leagues and things like that. And from a driver's perspective, you look up in your rearview mirror and you see Mark, you're like, where did he come from? So it's not even just from an up here standpoint looking at it. It's you see him in your rearview mirror, it's 1, getting close to the end of the race, and 2, that you have a guy back there that is hungry. And so you have to drive your butt off to try and stay in front of him.
Well, you said it, Chris. It's usually in that last third of the race that you'll start to see that Little Tate's Cupcakes Chevrolet appear in that rearview mirror, and you're like, man, where did he come from? You're exactly right. Meanwhile, back out front, Bobby Jr. maybe making some adjustments to his driving style now, as the lap time's pretty equal now between second place Corey Bigley and himself. Still enjoying about 2.2 second advantage back to the 58. Lap 24 will go up on the board as Bobby flashes across start finish. David Bradford has made short work of Drew Blaze as a 13 now up into the third spot. Biggest mover on the racetrack so far, 51 of Chris Klein. Started 13th, now up to the 8th spot. Now applying pressure to 7th, Rodney Roberts in the number 28 machine. Chris Klein jumping on board with the Ram colors this season. A little mistake out of Roberts will open the door for Chris Klein to take the spot, but Roberts is going to battle back on the outside, keeps the left front fender tucked to the right rear quarter of the 51. Will have to run down the straightaway into turn 3. Oh, and Chris Klein, real loose off turn 4, straightens it out. Saves a caution, but loses some ground. Whale of a save out of the 51 of Chris Klein there as he battled with Rodney Roberts. Meanwhile, some developments at the front of the field. I don't know if Bobby had a mistake or a problem, but Bobby ran almost 2/10 slower than Bigley a lap ago. This time by a little bit closer, but almost a tenth slower. Second place gap now 1.6 seconds, previously about 2.2 plus. Alan DeFries, Josh Ingram side by side. Ingram on the bottom of the 56. Alan DeFries now looking into the back bumper of Ingram. Real loose off exit for Ingram. 30 laps in here at Iowa Speedway, a handful away from our stage break. Only stage break of the night.
See all these guys getting loose off this quarter, Steve.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
As these tires heat up, and with this place, it's just a lot of it is the heat that you build up in these tires. It's not even so much the wear that you experience, but that heat just gets these tires so slick, and you just slide all around. Especially, we saw a couple laps ago when DeFries got right up behind Ingram coming off the corner. It just takes the air off of that spoiler, and it'll slide you around pretty easily.
Many drivers make the comments about how difficult it is to cool the tires back off once you heat them up. What are your options as a driver, at least under green flag conditions, to try and cool those tire temperatures before you can get back after it?
Well, no option that you like. You can, the only thing that you can try to adjust your line a little bit, maybe run a little bit higher line. You try and keep the wheel out of it a little bit if it's the front tires that are real hot. Other than slowing down, I mean, there's really, you're just kind of hoping that it'll even itself out. You know, not driving too hard into the corner, taking it easy off the corner is always, kind of rolling the throttle rather than stabbing the throttle coming off. But none of the options make for any type of speed or anything like that, for sure.
Certainly loss of pace and track position if you're going to do it under green flag conditions. But meanwhile, off turn number 4, Bobby Hamilton Jr., the lead well in hand, will put lap 35 on the board. Bigley across in second, David Bradford third. Or is he? Still no caution. So the 25 will roll off turn 4, complete lap 35. This will be the stage end.
There will be a caution. Left, safe fuel.
So there it is, yellow flag out, first time of the night at the end of our first and only stage. Bobby Jr. will win it, then it's Corey Bigley, David Bradford, Drew Blaze, Mike Fahey, the top 5. Then it's on to Will Jones in 6th, 7th, Rodney Roberts. And Stephen Luttrell's cutting through here. I'm not sure what's going on here with the 36. So they may have to review the finishing order of the stage because he is still well on the throttle here. I'm not sure what the situation is here with Luttrell. So field tidied up behind the pace car, and they'll stay out. At least the top 2 do. David Bradford comes down. Bigley, a hard left in. Some drivers confused if pit lane's open or not. You see the lights there at the entrance to pit lane flashing red. Bobby Jr. stayed out on the racetrack. It seemed that Corey Bigley was going to do the same, but then last minute hard left into the pits. Chris, is there something tricky about this place about when they open pit lane?
Not that I can remember. Those red lights, though, do signify that it is closed.
They're still flashing here, too. Pit exit is closed also.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is I'm not sure how they do it in this league as far as with the admins and stuff. I don't know if they manually close the pits, a couple laps before the end of the stage. But, I don't know if they have to come in and reopen them manually. If they manually close them, they're still showing red. So I don't know exactly what happened here.
So maybe the dreaded iRacing glitch. We'll see. As Bobby did stay out, but now he'll come down and take his service all by his lonesome.
Yeah, we'll see. Because if they all pit under a closed pit, then they're theoretically will all have some sort of a penalty, but if you penalize everybody, you're just back in the same order, right? But I think Bobby may be the big loser out of this whole situation here.
Still see it there, Chris, though. Those red lights flashing at pit exit, so something not quite right, it seems.
Yeah, it's either our graphic as far as in the sim is off, or there's something funny going on with pit right now.
Well, it may take him a minute to get it figured out. We're going to see if we can pull Bobby into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our stage winner. Bobby Hamilton Jr. It's Steve and Chris in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yeah, buddy.
Bobby, congratulations on the stage win there. Was there a little issue with the pit road opening?
Yeah, it didn't open until I was past it. And the same thing happened to Bigley and everything, and that's disappointing with iRacing. That kind of screwed our night.
Kind of wondering if there was a glitch going on there, because even when you came down at your point, the pit road lights were still flashing red even when you left, so not sure what's going on there. You got anything in the tank here to run back through this field?
Oh, yeah, we're fast. I just got to keep my nose clean. It's Mr. X, and, we just got to do my deal, do my job. That's what David hired me for, go up here and win these races, and gave me a great set, worked on it all week. That's not going to stop me from winning this race.
All right, Bobby. Well, wish you the best of luck, man. Hopefully that changes here. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, buddy.
It's Bobby Hamilton Jr., winner of the stage. A little iRacing glitch, as we expected to hear, costing Bobby the race lead. He's going to be at the tail end of the field here, but confident about his options and chances of success here tonight. Front row is going to be David Bradford and Mike Fahey. As we're coming to green. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. David Bradford off turn 4 with the race lead. Drew Blaze alongside Corey Bigley. Bigley's been quick tonight as well. These guys battling with each other earlier. That point for the second spot, as you see Mike Fahey now up into that position, gained some ground in the pit stop. Fahey going for the race lead on David Bradford.
Hey Steve, I was watching at the kind of the end of that stage. kind of watching some lap times and stuff, and Fahey had one of the fastest trucks on the track there at the end of that stage. So he obviously is doing a pretty good job tonight of making sure to maintain his tires and his truck for the long run as well. So hopefully we'll see him up here battling at the end too.
This fight for the race lead has allowed Corey Bigley to become part of the picture, as he just about gotten alongside Mike Fahey off turn 4. So now three-way battle for the top spots, and Drew Blaze just waiting in the wings as the 2 in front of him run side by side. Could be an advantage for the 9 to run them down. It's also going to allow Bradford to gain some ground behind him if these guys continue to run side by side. Bigley gets clear of Mike Fahey and doesn't waste any time. Sticks his nose alongside David Bradford for the race lead. David drives off the corner and gaps the 58 just a touch, but back to the bottom of the racetrack to 58. That truck is turning well on the bottom. Still a battle for the race lead. Corey Bigley getting after it here, trying to get around David Bradford.
I'm not sure what kind of setup difference he may have compared to some of the other guys, but I tell you what, he looks the most stable of anybody we've looked at tonight on that bottom and coming off the corner as well. So that 58's really got something special going on there, wrapping that bottom like you mentioned earlier.
And Chris, I don't know if he made an adjustment, because that first run prior to the stage, he wasn't this quick. He lost a spot pretty early to Drew Blaze, and it wasn't until later on in the run that he was able to get back around the 9. So maybe a slight adjustment on that F-150's helped pick up the pace here on the short run for Corey Bigley. One-third distance here at Iowa Speedway, and we're watching a great battle here at the top of the timing tower. David Bradford, Corey Bigley, Mike Fahey all duking it out here in a three-way fight for the top spot. Fahey taking a peek to the outside. I thought they were going to be 3 wide coming to the line. Mike backs out of it just a touch, and it now opens the door for Rodney Roberts to become part of the party. Corey Bigley gets the top spot now. Bradford back to second. Meanwhile, in the chat, Keenan Kimber says, alerts to Rod, exclamation points. I'm not sure what that's about, but David Warmoth in the chat says, sorry I'm late, had a little trouble with security getting my cooler into the track. Let's go. Yeah, Dave, it's got to be soft-sided, man. You can't bring in a giant igloo, all right?
I remember the days that you could, though.
Yeah, same.
Those were the days.
The little swivel top igloo.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Still got one. So Bigley very fast on this run now, almost 3/4 of a second of a lead now over Mike Fahey and David Bradford. Fahey gets clear of the 13. So David not the fastest here on the longer run now. He's real quick out of the gate. But speaking of quick, let's talk about Bobby Hamilton Jr. If you're just joining us, got kind of snafooed on the pit cycle here with a stage break. Pit lane didn't open for himself and Corey Bigley. Bobby went by pit road. Bigley was able to take a hard left and come down and pit anyway. The rest of the field also did that, so Bobby had to pit on the second lap by, had to start from the back. Now he's worked himself up 7 spots into the 10th position. He's got a fast truck, was confident about his abilities to get back up to the top spot and potentially win this race. So we'll have to keep an eye on the 25 here tonight. He's got a fast race truck. David Warma says, I paid him off. They let me in. All right. What'd you give him? A couple of lattes? Frank Griffin says, you mean you're not in favor of an $8 beer? I'm like, $8? Where do you think you are, Eldora? It's like $16 at the Glen. So Bobby now to the 9th spot as he applies pressure to 8th place, Chris Klein. DeFries and Nicholson battling now. This for 10th position. Nicholson with a new sponsor on the truck tonight. Modern Woodman Fraternal Financial. Trying to put on a good showing. Chris, I know we're at a short track, but this place is almost a mile long. They're running pretty good speeds here, just a hair over 152 mile an hour topping out. Clean air is still king, even at this place. And it's showing right now. Corey Bigley, 1.1 seconds the advantage back to Mike Fahey.
No, absolutely. This package of these trucks is so aero sensitive, no matter where you are. I mean, even road courses, you can tell, when you have clean air versus when you don't. So anytime you got anybody packing the air on that nose and taking away some of your downforce, it's really causing that truck to push. And this is traditionally I know we've seen a bunch of cars a bunch of trucks kind of starting to lose it off the corner and stuff like that. But traditionally, this thing builds real tight. So the longer you ride behind somebody, it's the tighter your truck gets. So definitely clean air is gonna favor the person out front.
Meanwhile, Bobby Jr. battling with Colt Ansley for the 6th spot. Colt got into the fence just a moment ago. I think it was off turn 4 as Alan DeFries having a moment down the backstretch. A little wiggle off turn number 2. He straightens it back out, but will lose some momentum. But Bobby now to the 6th position, well clear of the 86. Will continue to march towards the front. Next on the list will be the 9 of Drew Blades. He's got about 2 seconds to make up before he gets there, but at this rate, he's going to. Kind of more of what we saw at the end of the first run here, Chris. The trucks are starting to get looser and looser as this run continues on. It was just before the stage break. Everybody's getting a little tail happy. We've seen Alan DeFries have a moment there. Colt Ansley, the opposite effect. He was a little tight on exit, but tires the name of the game here tonight, it seems.
Yeah, especially, you see, no, that was Alan DeFries, sorry, bouncing off the wall coming out of 2. But, yeah, especially with these, in the case of like Bobby and stuff like that, you're pushing real hard to try and get back through the field, to try and get back to what you're where you were originally. The harder you run, you kind of get comfortable with your truck underneath you, you're going to run real hard compared to the beginning of the race. So you're going to get some heat in these tires. So that's what you're seeing is a lot of the slipping and sliding after the fact.
Speaking of slipping and sliding, Matt Nicholson may have had a moment out on the Speedway as well. Remember, he was up inside the top 10 not that long ago. Now he slipped to 13th, and he was out of the groove just about a lap ago. Drivers have their hands full tonight here at Iowa. Battle for second is on. Bradford and Fahey side by side out of 2. Frank Griffin in the chat says, I finally got an autograph from Steptoe. Do you think I paid too much? Battle continuing for the second spot. Mike Fahey up another lane here, real close to the wall on exit. Steps out just a touch, but he has the run down the straightaway. Keeps it alongside Bradford. David unable to clear Mike Fahey as this battle wages now for about 4 or 5 laps. David's got to be careful, though. Fahey real loose on corner exit. If he's not careful, that 19 might come around and clip the right rear. Might be time to let him go or get cleared. Pick one and do it. In the meantime, Bigley's loving what this is happening behind him. He's out to 2.5 seconds now. David gets clear of Mike Fahey, and he is still having some handling problems in behind the 13. Seems tight in the center and loose on exit.
It's a dangerous combination. You turn the wheel extra in the corner to get it to turn, and then all of a sudden it's turning too much coming out.
What's a way to combat that before coming down to take tires? Obviously, a fresh set of Goodyears would make it a whole lot easier, but what can you do as a driver? Maybe changing up your entry, your exits. What can you do to kind of limit that from happening?
Yeah, you know, really backing up the entry to the corner and kind of letting it roll through the center a little bit more. That way you're not, you know, cranking as much wheel, trying to keep as much speed into it as you can. Just rolling the center of the corner a little bit more, easing off the throttle, or back into the throttle rather than kind of punching it, will help that. You really want to fix that. Fixing the tight in the middle will kind of help fix the loose off a little bit, because you're not putting as much wheel into the center of the corner to get it to turn. So therefore, it's not going to snap loose as much. So just rolling the center of the corner a little bit more really helps me in that situation.
Fahey may have made that adjustment, Chris, because he's been a little bit cleaner in the last couple of laps. Oh, Drew Blaze, though, he's got his hands full. Interestingly, Drew Blaze, a teammate with Mike Fahey, I would assume they're running the same or at least similar setups. Meanwhile, David Bradford has built a comfortable margin back to Mike Fahey in that third position. Last lap for Bradford of 24.67. Bigley ran a 64, so very close times, but David's still not running down the 58. So far, only one caution tonight. That was for the stage break. Does that weigh your decision making when it comes time to make some pit stops, Chris? Do you decide, if I'm going to make a change on this truck, okay, we're running a lot of long runs here, do I make an adjustment? Do I leave it alone?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, you kind of can tell what the race is going to do. It seems like it's going to run long green flag runs, so you've got to take that chance and make the adjustment based on that. I mean, if you do get a rash of cautions or something that bunches everybody back up for those short runs, I mean, it kind of is what it is. But at this point, the race has kind of shown you what direction it's going to take, so you need to make those adjustments, you know, with that in mind.
Speaking of adjustments, whatever Corey Bigley did on that first pit stop, it has made a huge difference in the pace of that truck. Remember how fast he was on the bottom early on in the run? Well, we're late in this run now. We've gone well past the distance of our first stage, and he's still putting a bigger gap between himself and David Bradford. Last lap was almost a tenth quicker than Bradford. The lap after that, a half-tenth quicker than David.
Yeah, he's definitely whatever he did, like you mentioned, he's figured out exactly what the truck needed, and it's he's probably having a field day in there. Just it looks like it's just so easy to drive, which is really nice to have as a driver. Is just something that just is basically driving itself.
Truck still looks pretty stable, but with that, we're going to step aside here, past halfway here at Iowa. We're going to get a track limit side by side. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Iowa Speedway, lap 90 on the board, 61 to go here as Corey Bigley continues to dominate. He's now stretched his advantage over David Bradford to just under 3.7 seconds. Mike Fahey running third still. Drew Blaze now fourth. Roddy Roberts to fifth. Bobby Hamilton Jr. from the back after the stage has run his way back up to the sixth position. Then it's Stephen Luttrell seventh, Will Jones eighth, Chris Klein ninth, Ingram is 10th, Matt Nicholson runs 11th, Chris Lannis 12th, Austin Greenwell 13th, Jason Steptoe 14th, Mark Truxell in the 15th spot, Alan DeFries shown 16th, but he's in pit lane, but Colt Ansley last, 2 laps down. Not sure if something happened here to Colt, but he remains, or no, he doesn't remain. He did take a pit stop, so maybe this was a planned stop. No, I think he's actually out of the race. I don't show anything significant happening to Colt Ansley. Came down to pit on lap 82, and then came back down at 83. Chris, I don't know if maybe he caught a penalty and then realized he was going to finish this thing last and left. I don't know. No, he's back on the track.
Yeah, I was going to say, it shows that he just passed DeFries for that position, so he's back out there. It's
yeah, I tried to select him, and he didn't work, so I thought he left.
Yeah, maybe he had a speeding penalty or something when he was coming in for a scheduled pit stop and had to come back in again.
Well, it does seem like we're getting into a round of green flag stops here because Alan DeFries, Cole Ansley have completed theirs. Now Will Jones will leave the pits as he wraps up his 4-tire stop. And going back to that first round of stops, Chris, it did appear that everybody went on and took 4 tires that first pit stop. So again, 3 sets available over the wall. Probably not a bad plan.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, you know, with the range that they can go on a tank of fuel. You probably see them have, maybe even some of them have a set over the wall if they're trying to do any type of pit strategy. Here at the end, take gas only and go or something like that.
Well, at this point, Cole Ansley, Will Jones, Alan DeFries, they've completed their stops. They've made 2 stops, so they still have 1 set parked over the wall. As David Bradford, I was just going to get to this. Bradford comes to pit lane. The question I was going to ask, Chris, is given the 1 second plus fall off on old to new tires, will Bradford try to undercut Bigley, pull him down? And David has done just that. He comes to pit lane here. Scheduled stop under the green flag here, lap 96. Expecting Bradford to bolt on another set of tires here. Oh, and he overshoots the box. A rare mistake out of David Bradford. Now Fahey, Bobby Jr., Chris Klein, Josh Ingram all into pits. So 4 tires and fuel for David Bradford. He's down and away in 17.32. A long stop there for the 13 team. So whatever benefit Bradford would have gained by coming down before Corey Bigley goes out the window as he misses the pit box. Bobby Jr. wraps up his stop 14.92. And race leader Corey Bigley on pit road. So Rodney Roberts will take over the top spot.
Something to look at too, Steve. So we're at lap 98, 99. These guys probably ran about 59 laps, so this might be the last pit stop for these guys.
So looking at the stint length here, I don't think you can see it on your end, Chris, because you got the live satellite feed, so to speak. Rodney Roberts, Matt Nicholson, Grewell, they're on lap 62. Bigley went 61. Bradford went 58. So, yeah, I think you're right. Everybody can make it to the end from this point, at least fuel-wise. They still have a set of tires. If they catch a late caution, they can come down and give it a shot.
Looking right here, look who jumped in front of Bigley. Bradford, even with the overshooting the pit box, he actually was able to make up some time.
Bradford shown as the first truck 1 lap down, ahead of Corey Bigley. They're 5th and 6th, respectively. The top 3 drivers now have yet to come to pit lane on this fuel run. Rodney Roberts, Matt Nicholson, Austin Grewell. So the longer they run here, yes, they're going to shed track position because, again, that fall off well over a full second. Rodney Roberts' fast lap of the day is a 23.66. He just ran a 25.03, so you do the math, how much quicker the fresh tires are running him down at this point. But the other side of that coin is later on in this race, as it comes to a close, he'll have a little bit more tire life to his advantage.
And just to show you that what the advantage is for those tires, you know, Bradford even overshooting his pit box and having a he was on the pit road for 3 seconds longer than Bigley was just in the pit box. So 17.32 versus 14.32, and he was what, 2.5 seconds back, but he ran about 4 laps longer, and made up all that time and put himself in front of Bigley just by this speed on those new tires. So
there you go. It's 2.5 a lap. We're talking 6+ seconds gained just by pitting before him.
Yep.
And Nicholson now will come down into pit lane. Rodney Roberts still out on the Speedway, really stretching this one out. He'll pull down now this time, lap 105, the end of lap 105. So that should cycle David Bradford back to the race lead with Corey Bigley in second. So Roberts went 68 laps on the green flag. Everybody's got a pit, Cole.
But what that means is, if caution comes out for right now, he's in a good spot because he's going to have fresher tires than everybody else. And, you know, you may not see, because of how recently it happened, that everybody may not come in and take tires. So he'd have fresher tires than everybody else. But
does
we'll see
really
how it works out for him at the end.
Does really force a decision out of those guys. It hasn't been all that long since Bradford came down. It was lap 95. We're about 11, 12 laps since then at this point. But if you don't take the tires, Roberts is out there on the set of fresh Goodyears. He's absolutely going to chew you up. You almost want to come down and take the tires and cross your fingers and gamble that we won't have a caution later on. Take away that advantage of Rodney Roberts. Knowing that if Roberts needs to pit again, he's only made 2 stops. He still has a set lay-in. So Rodney Roberts strategically in a pretty good spot right now, Chris.
Yeah, from a strategy standpoint, from a track position standpoint, not so much. But from a strategy standpoint, if something catastrophic does happen, you know, here at the end for somebody and it does bunch everybody back together, he's definitely in a good spot. You see a battle heating up here for the lead between these 3.
Bigley with that low lane pace yet again here in the early stages of this run. This is kind of a deja vu what we saw at the end of the last pit stops.
And Drew sneaking up here, you know, kind of out of nowhere. You know, he was running kind of 4th, 5th the whole night. He was battling a loose handling truck, but you know, just like in true Drew Blaze fashion, he kind of finds his way to the front there at the end, and he's going to be duking it out with these guys for long term, and with Fahey even right there behind him too.
Again, we talk about if. Big question is if the yellow comes back out. If we run another 10 laps, you know, Drew Blaze is probably going to take an opportunity to take tires. I think everybody will, but as we've seen so many times, the 9 not afraid to go rights only. I guess the question, Chris, is these trucks have seemed pretty loose tonight. Bolting on rights only usually exacerbates that issue. Sometimes when they're set up to build tight, that can kind of help you out at the end as well as get you the track position. But does Drew Blaze dare take 2 only if that opportunity presents itself?
If it's under caution, I can't imagine that he would, just because it keeps everybody bunched up like that. If it was under green and they weren't taking a full tank of fuel or something like that, then I could definitely see him taking that chance with it. But I think in that scenario under caution, I think if you're going to take tires, you got to take 4, just because you're, like you said, they're just going to chew you up on those all 4 there at the end anyway. So.
Blaze with a pretty clean move to take second from David Bradford, so move the 9 up to P2. Drew Blaze running the real high exit there off turn number 4. Bigley just lights out fast right now. 24.09 to Drew Blaze 24.22. Bradford at 24.57, so he is well off the leader's pace right now. Bobby Hamilton Jr. now sees the top 5 again for the first time since the pit road issue. Chris, looking at the lap times for Bobby, though, 24:60 the last time. He does have 2 lap older tires than the race leader, but we've talked about how this place, the clean air, makes a big difference. It seems that the 25 truck in traffic, not quite as quick as we expected to see him, at least as fast as he was right out of the gate tonight.
Yeah, you know, when you get trapped back there, and not only trapped back there with the dirty air, maybe trapped back there with trucks, you know, not speaking negatively on anybody else, but maybe that are a little bit slower, don't have quite the pace, you know, you're kind of stuck in a bubble of, you know, the air slowing you down, and you got to kind of pick your battles of where you're going to pass these guys, and it can get a little, you know, I mean, it can just affect your overall speed. I mean, you see it, he picked it up a little bit that last lap, but he's still a couple of tenths off the leaders there who are, you know, out there in that clean air.
Chris Klein, Rodney Roberts, 6th and 7th on the racetrack. Rodney with the newer tires here. We'll see how much it's going to take to get around the 51 here. We know Chris is going to defend, but it's going to be tough to beat the tire advantage that the 28 has, and he'll get clear of Klein here off turn number 4, move Roberts up to P6. Klein battling back, though. David Warmuth in the chat says, I hate to say it, but a caution would be nice right now from a fan's perspective anyways.
We almost had it right there. Rodney did a heck of a job of hanging on to that truck. You know, we talked about him. If he got a caution, he was kind of in a good strategic position. But if he was the caution, it probably limits that advantage that he had.
So 30 laps to go here at Iowa Speedway. Corey Bigley with another big lead now, 1.2 back to Drew Blaze, David Bradford, Mike Fahey, Bobby Hamilton Jr. It does appear that Will Jones and Colt Ansley out of the race, taking it to the garage, so they'll finish 16th and 17th respectively. I don't know, Chris. I don't know if Bobby's going to be able to get back up there to contend for this win without a caution. He's back 5 seconds plus just from 4th place. 8.4 off the race lead with 27 to go.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting here looking at the numbers as well. And I was sitting here thinking a caution would be huge for him. You know, knowing that the speed that he has, you come in and bolt on 4 fresh tires. And then he's only fighting the dirty air of the 4 in front of him, trying to, you know, make that happen. But, you know, he's got lap traffic in between him. Like you mentioned, he's got 5 seconds to Fahey and almost 9 now to Bigley. So he's definitely going to need some sort of help.
Matt Nicholson and Jason Steptoe are leaning on each other off of turn number 2. Steptoe to the outside. This is for the 13th spot, and they do it again. Door to door through 3 and 4. Still trading paint. Anybody need a caution? Anybody? Drivers are battling for the lucky dog position on the speedway right now. Nicholson's got it for the time being. We'll see if Steptoe can run him back down, but at this point it seems Nicholson's got the pace advantage. Stretches it out to 3 car lengths, or truck lengths that is, plus back to Jason Steptoe. Nicholson with about 6 lap newer tires, so he had the advantage there. Steptoe was not going to go quietly. Austin Grewell, Chris Lannis, Josh Ingram, all for position as Corey Bigley with the race lead, starting to encounter some lap traffic. This with 22 to go. He's got a healthy lead, though. He can kind of pick his battle here and just find the perfect opportunities to make passes on these lap trucks. He's got 2.4 back to Blaze. Gets through there cleanly, and then he'll have to force Drew Blaze and David Bradford to get through. Speaking of Blaze and Bradford, they're battling it out for this second spot still. And Drew is really using up every inch of the racetrack on exit at turn 4. Let's see if he does the same thing here in 2. Little wiggle this time out of that Ford, and he scrapes the fence.
I believe that's every inch and then some.
Well, these two guys fight for the second spot. Bigley now almost 3 seconds up. So Bradford will take the second spot over Drew Blaze. Bradford with 3 wins on the season so far. Things remain the same. It's not going to be a 4th tonight. Bigley trying to pick up his first of the season. Bradford came into Iowa tonight with a 17-point advantage over second place. Bobby Hamilton Jr., 37-point advantage. Bobby Hamilton Jr. running 6th now. Roberts got clear with those newer tires. Again, he's got about 10 lap fresher rubber than the 25. So, Chris, I don't know if it's going to be a winning move out of Roberts to pit when he did, but right now it's definitely helping him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he was running probably 5th or 6th whenever the cycle of pit stop started. So, he is going to end up about where he was running anyway. So no harm, no foul. And if things had worked out a little bit differently, then maybe he could have had that advantage for the lead. So I really didn't have any so far. I mean, I know we still got 14, 15 laps to go. So no real negative effects for his pit strategy. Kind
of a safe gamble. If things don't pan out the way they want to, he's really not losing anything. But if it does, he could end up with a win. At this point, the longer the run goes, the less of an advantage he has. He likely would have to pit with everybody if the caution were to come out at this point.
Yeah.
So second and third, Bradford and Blaze starting to run down some lap traffic of their own. It'll be the 56 of Josh Ingram first. Chris Lannis, Austin Grewell. Bigley's lead 3.3 seconds. Alan DeFries running 9th. Last car on the lead lap. You see Corey Bigley about 3/4 of a straightaway in the rearview mirror. 10 more laps for Corey Bigley. You guys out there in the stream chat might want to see a yellow here, but one guy I can tell you for certain does not want that. It's the driver, that number 58 Ford F-150 of Corey Bigley. Bradford using lap traffic to stretch his advantage over Drew Blaze. It's now 1.29 seconds back to the number 9 machine. I think Drew may have had a moment there trying to get clear of the 56. He was definitely out of his normal routine. Fun fact about David Bradford, Chris, he's got 4 races in, 3 wins, and 4 top 5s, looking to lock up his 5th straight top 5 to start the season. You want to talk about stacking points.
Absolutely, yeah. He's got a heck of a momentum here at the beginning part of this season, and he's going to have these guys, he's going to have him put real far in the rearview mirror if he keeps having that kind of streak going on.
Bigley catches and passes Alan DeFries. Alan keeps it top of the racetrack, lets the leader on through. So now Alan DeFries, the first car, 1 lap down. And only 1 caution tonight. It was the planned caution for our stage break, lap 35. No cautions for cause to this point, knock on wood. Closest I can do is sheetrock. All things remain the same here. Bobby Hamilton Jr. should come home with a 6th place finish. Chris Klein back about 1.64 seconds. They both have the same tire life left, generally. Both came down to lap 96 for their scheduled stop. Klein, the biggest mover on the night, though. Started 13th as he runs 7th. He's picked up the most positions out of anybody. Maybe a moot point there for Bobby Hamilton Jr., though. Had to go from the tail end of the field up to this 6th position. After an iRacing glitch cost him the race lead, has yet to come back up into the top 3 since. Pure Pixel Visual says, another fun fact about David Bradford is he uses a booster seat to race. I thought it was phone books, but all right. Coming down to the white flag, Corey Bigley, 1 lap to go. Dominant performance here tonight by the 58. Put it on the outside pole. Once the 58 got out in front after that first stage break, he's been untouchable ever since. Off turn number 4 for the final time, Corey Bigley will come down and take the checkered flag and win the Heartland 150. Bradford will finish 2nd. Drew Blaze will come home in 3rd. Then it's Mike Fahey, Rodney Roberts to round out the top 5. Solid performance by Bigley here tonight, leading 88 laps en route to victory. Just like that. Couple of loops and he's done. Corey Bigley with the victory here tonight at Iowa Speedway. We're going to step out, get a break out of the way. We'll have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Iowa Speedway, and Corey Bigley victorious here tonight, leading 88 laps en route to his first win of the season. Let's see if we get a word with the driver of the number 58 machine. Corey, it's Steve and Chris in the broadcast booth. You with us?
Yep, I got you.
Corey, congratulations, man. Dominant performance here tonight. I want to go back to the start of the race. Obviously, you started outside front row, but didn't quite have the pace in that opening stage. Was there any adjustments made to that truck to make it so fast in the latter stages?
Me?
The driver. Big adjustment by the driver.
Yeah, I was trying something at first and see what I was trying to save really hard early on and see because I knew the tires would fall off, and I had a number like a time to go after, and I did, and then but it didn't really fall off the 35 laps. Like I knew Bobby drove hard early. I'm like, okay, and then the second run I knew I had to when I got down pit road, when I got to like 4th, I knew I had to go a little bit harder, and I knew I was good when I can roll the bottom on everybody. To me, like I said, I just don't like. I'm the one that doesn't like to overdrive, getting in the corner. Just like this is almost a slow roll Richmond right here too, also, because I know how to just ease off in the corner and just still have the rear tires on you later on in the run too.
Well, that's kind of what we observed there after that stage break. Bottom side of the racetrack, you were able to hug that white line and really roll the bottom without any issues, made those passes, got out front, and kind of untouchable after that. We both kind of thought that at the end of the run, the truck would start to fall off, but it just didn't go away. Is that just a matter of tire savings throughout the course of the run?
Yeah, when I got out front, I kind of took my time, and just when you get out front, I'm like, I could see the times to them. I was just watching it, and I'm like, okay, we're about even, and then I can see like I would be like a 10th or 2 faster. I'm like, okay, I knew what I was doing. When I pitted, I put a little extra fuel to keep the car a little snugger later in the run. Like the last run, that's why it took a little longer on down pit road, and I just wanted to have the extra fuel for the weight, so my truck didn't get really tight. Because like the first run, I don't know if the track cooled off a little too fast. And because I was mainly, I didn't change nothing on my truck. I was mainly working on my brake bias. That's all I was mainly doing in the first run, or from the first to the second run. I would just mess with my brake bias, and it really helped the truck.
Well, certainly an impressive run here tonight. Dominant performance. First win of the season as we roll into New Hampshire Motor Speedway next week. Going to the Magic Mile. Personally, a track I play with brake bias quite a bit to try and be quick throughout the course of the run. How do you approach New Hampshire next week?
Oh, I think I should be pretty good. It's a flat track. I'm pretty good at flat tracks too. Like I said, I run on not a flat track, but I run on a pretty low track, like a flatter track, or where I race in real life. Means I think I should be pretty good there. I just have to, like I said, I gotta be easier on the tires early also, and then like take off later in the run, like I said, so I can get away from the people if I'm out front.
Corey Bigley, winner of the Heartland 150. Who do you have to thank?
I gotta thank my guys, Jason, Josh, Frank, all the guys at Stinger, and just it's good to finally, because I struggled I was really good at Martinsville and just kind of messed myself up, but I wanted, because I knew I was pretty good on long run there at Martinsville, but yeah, I messed myself up the couple races, but I'm happy to finally get momentum now.
All right, Corey. Well, job well done, man. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
Thank you, and thank you for you guys for broadcasting.
Appreciate it. Corey Bigley, your race winner here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the runner-up, David Bradford. Not a win, but he's got 3 of them this season. Wasn't able to get the 4th here tonight, but yet again, another top 5 finish for the driver, the number 13 Crown Royal Black Toyota. David, it's Stephen Chris in the booth. You with us?
Hey, what's up, man?
David, congratulations. 5th straight top 5 to start the season. I know you wanted the win here tonight, but I don't think anybody was touching that 58 here tonight. Walk us through your evening.
Yeah, I think if anybody was going to, it was going to be Bobby, and then whatever happened there coming to pit road happened. I don't know how to prevent that going forward. It's just shit luck, I guess. But, just a pretty basic night for me here. Like I said, I don't like this place, so to come out here second's really good for me. Just missing something, man. He could drive off in the corner a lot faster than me, make the corner, and then, just drive off straight. I was trying my best to hang on his outside and maybe wear his stuff out, but just seemed like the longer we went, the better he was.
And talking to Corey, another flat track next week at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. He's got pretty high hopes and confidence going into New Hampshire next week. How do you feel about that place?
I also hate it. I'm just not good there, never have been, can't figure it out. Will Jones is there, he's been my teammate for 12, 14 years, something like that, and I still can't figure it out. I can watch him all day, and I just can't figure it out, man. It's a struggle for me.
Well, either way, we're looking forward to it. Maybe at least another top 5. You got second here tonight on a place you're not a fan of, so high hopes going into New Hampshire next week. David, congratulations on P2 here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
Of course, got to thank the guys at the team. It's it's a tough grind every week doing these setups and things like that. Like I said, I really hate it for Bobby. he nailed his this week and has nothing to show for it besides the stage win. But I also thank everybody else at home for watching, and guess we'll see him next week.
All right, David. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in New Hampshire.
Thanks, Steve.
David Bradford, your runner-up here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Next, we'll talk to the Fast Shocks number 9 from Lone Star Racing. It's Drew Blaze, our third-place finisher here tonight. Drew, it's Steve and Chris in the booth. You with us?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations. Third-place start, third-place finish. It's always good when you're not going backwards. The truck looked fast for a little while, at least on the short run. Was it just a matter of setup on the long run on the truck tonight?
Yeah, we were just trying stuff with the pit stops and making all sorts of adjustments, and I just was not happy with it. Sometimes it'd be real loose, sometimes it'd be real tight. I couldn't really get solid speed, especially like in the middle of the corners. But you know, we kind of held on to it and got a good finish out of it.
We were watching your teammate Mike Fahey, who actually finished 4th right behind you. At one point during the race, seemed to have a real tight condition mid-corner and very loose off. Then later on, we checked you. Didn't necessarily see the tight in the center, but definitely saw the loose off. You guys running a very similar setup this week?
Yeah, it's pretty dead on similar. It's I just kind of try to throw some stuff together for these guys and just let them have at it and try to help them along the way with the in-race adjustments, and just trying to kind of back with where we were with the ARCA cars, and just trying to figure stuff out, getting a little start in the season again.
Off to Loudon next week, the Magic Mile, another relatively flat track in comparison to where we typically run. Do you guys have any confidence rolling in? I know you're not happy necessarily with the setup tonight, but 2 top 5 finishes, that's a positive looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, on the bright side, it's, we got the good finishers. I still feel like we're just missing stuff, some speed, so just, I want to get that ironed out, but I did not have anything for Corey, and, I just, 1 week at a time, and we're gonna tackle next week's race, same as we always do, just try to be solid, try not to wreck, and be consistent all through the season.
All right, Drew. Well, congratulations. P3 here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, just all my team guys at Lone Star Racing, especially Mike and everybody that helps me test the setups and all my stuff. So, just got to give a big shout out to them, and you guys for on the broadcast, and Team Wassing for helping out with the setups. And that's it.
All right, Drew. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it.
Drew Blaze, your third-place finisher here tonight at Iowa. I don't know, Chris, for a third-place finish, he seems a little dejected.
Yeah, he does enjoy winning and feels like he has a truck to win every week. So, but third place is nothing to hang your head at.
Speaking of winning, the Cup race at North Wilkesboro in the books in the 22. Joey Logano going to take it to victory lane. But we've got our own race to wrap up here. Race results. We talked to our top 3 already. Corey Bigley, David Bradford, and Drew Blaze. Mike Fahey comes home in the 4th spot. Rodney Roberts was 5th. Bobby Hamilton Jr. comes home P6. Chris Klein drove it up to 7th. Stephen Luttrell was 8th. Alan DeFries in 9th. Chris Lannis takes home a top 10 in the 10th spot. Austin Greenwell was 11th. Josh Ingram 12th. Matt Nicholson 13th. Jason Steptoe 14th. Mark Truxell 15th. 16th and 17th, and out of the race 35 laps down was Will Jones and Colt Ansley. A job well done by all the drivers here tonight. Caution-free race if you take out the stage. No issues out on the racetrack that would bring out a yellow flag this evening, so a very clean event here on the super speedway of short tracks, I guess you could call it, here at Iowa Speedway. The Magic Mile, next week, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. That's going to be a fun one, not too far from where we are here, at least Track Limits Network. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 hours at least, but a fun racetrack up in New England, and I don't know, should be a good one to call. Chris, I don't know if you're with us next week. I think we got Zach back in the booth, but of course, if you want to jump up with us, you're always welcome.
Absolutely, yeah. If I've got free Sunday, then I will definitely look into jumping in there with you because I do enjoy New Hampshire.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Stream Chatter's always busy. I appreciate that as well. Make sure you're here for it again next week, same time, same channel here at Track Limits Network, the PSRA Truck Series. More action tomorrow. 4Wide Motorsports Late Model Stock Tour in the books. No, not. I can't even keep my own schedule straight. Nashville Fairgrounds, the Late Model Stock Tour Championship race, and then Tuesday, playoff racing with the 0X Strategy Series on Tuesday. Nothing going on Wednesday, Thursday yet, as we've wrapped up some seasons there, but good things to come. IROC coming back here in August. We've got potentially another Thursday night league coming up here at Track Limits. I'm going to keep my lips sealed on that one because it's not official just yet. And then the Golden Racing League will be back with us as well with a very new format also. So stay tuned for details on that. But that'll wrap it up for us here. Congratulations, Corey Bigley, picking up his first win of the season. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.